Senator, thank you very much for joining us. Very important night. Democrats wanted Speaker McCarthy out. Do they have to be careful what they wish for?
Well, Chris, it's a sad day, you know, especially when the political crime that you've committed was working with the other side. And I think that was the pushback today. But then it's a two-way street. I don't know if Kevin reached out to Hakeem and some of the moderate centrist Democrats and tried to make a deal, if you will, for their support, or if he just thought he had to remain pure to hold on to at least 200 of his Republicans. So there's a lot of motion here, a lot of involvement. We'll see. It'll shake out tonight and tomorrow, and see if he want to come back and make a run for it again.
It's interesting that you think McCarthy may make another run at it. Reportedly, he reached out to Jeffries and said, do what you want to do. If you're going to punish me for trying to get things done, then fine. Jeffries did exactly that. Do you believe that the next guy, if it's not McCarthy, may be a worse situation for Democrats?
The House is strictly simple majority. 218, which is one more than 435 or half of that, which is what it takes to rule. Majority rules. But when you have a divided country, and you know, and the thing that I want to talk to you a little bit about, and people have to think about, how did we get this? What was the cause of all of this? Does it start back from redistricting? Because now, as politicians can write their own line and get the people they want that will basically support their radical ideas or the radical positions and their staunchness as far as not caving in at all or either capitulating with the other side, is that what they're wanting and that's what you're getting? There's so much. And, you know, someone says, what do you think could change? I've been asked that question. I said, you know, I tried to get a petition one time that if anybody that's sitting right now, so you have 100 senators and 435 congresspeople, it would be basically an ethical violation for any of us to campaign against a sitting colleague or to give money and try to oust a sitting colleague. That used to be the unwritten rule years ago. That was a civility and decorum that was built in to our way and form of government.
McCarthy made his own bed. He made the deal with the far-right guys that he didn't keep. He lowered the threshold to go after the speaker to be that any one member could make the move. So he made his own bed. Now, I want to shift to what kind of bed you guys are making. I want the audience to know on a regular basis, Senator Manchin will say to me, you bash Congress too much, Cuomo. We got more done in the 117th Congress than I've seen in a long time, and you have to give us our due. So make the connection for me, Senator. What do you believe that got done that matters so much, especially for the Democrats' message? And why do people have such a negative impression of the sitting president, President Biden, when it comes to getting things done in the economy?
Well, first of all, I think messaging is the biggest problem. If you're not basically telling and laying out what you're trying to accomplish, and then when you do accomplish it, you succeed at something. So, first of all, let's take January 6th. That happened, Chris. It was for real. The insurrection was for real. I was here. You know, as much as I would have liked to think they would come to visit me and all the other senators and congresspeople, that wasn't the case. We saw it up live and personal. So with that being said, we passed the Electoral Count Act to prevent that from ever happening or giving that day the emphasis for a group of people thinking, we can stop this transfer of power. Let's just go grab the ballot box. Let's stop that counting of the official counting of the ballots. We've stopped that from happening, and we did it in a bipartisan way with about 10 Democrats and 10 Republicans working through a bunch of iterations of what we should do. But we came up and we made that ceremonial, took it out of the vice president's hands, and basically made it what it should have been, an orderly transfer of how we accept the votes once they've been counted officially from the states. So that was one. We've done an energy bill. We've never done an energy bill for 30 years. We did that. And then we did, on top of that, we did the CHIPS Act. And basically, we were just, the supply chain and what COVID showed us, that we were so reliant on foreign supplies that doesn't have our values. China doesn't have our values. Russia doesn't have our values. Iran doesn't have our values. North Korea. So, Chris, what we've done is that we've got to start bringing that production, the building blocks of America that we need every day to operate and maintain the superpower status that we have, that we've got to rely on ourselves and our best trading partners that we have, that we've always relied on, our NATO allies, things of that sort, so that we start going that. And then we did the bipartisan infrastructure bill. And we all knew we had to do that. We broke that out of the BBB.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.